Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. The Russian Federation, it seems like it reached almost the last point of admitting those territories within the greater Russia, and after the treaties were signed by Vladimir Putin and then they were sent to the next step and then sent to the Duma. Now, the treaties were voted unanimously by the members of the Duma, which sent it further to the Federal Council. So the Federal Council ratifies treaties on admission of DPR, LPR, Kherson and Zaporozhye regions. So this is according to Sputnik, and it's from today, the 4th of October 2022. The Donetsk People's Republic, as well as the Lugansk People's Republic's Kherson region and Zaporozhye region, overwhelmingly supported joining Russia during their September referendums. Russia's Federation Council ratified the three treaties on the DPR and LPR admission to Russia on Tuesday, today, as well as Zaporozhye region and Kherson region. At the same time, the parliaments of the DPR and LPR also voted to ratify the agreements. The DPR and LPR Zaporozhye region and Kherson region held referendums on joining the Russian Federation on September 23 to 27. Despite shelling by Ukraine and the constant threat of attacks, voter turnout was considerably high, and most people backed the idea of becoming part of Russia. 99.23% in the DPR, 98.42% in the LPR, 93% and 11% in Zaporozhye region, and 87.05% in Kherson. Deputy Chairman of Russian Security Council, former President Dmitry Medvedev, addressed the votes, saying, "The outcome is clear," and adding "welcome to Russia." Following the votes, President Vladimir Putin and the heads of the two republics and two regions signed agreements on accession of the territories to Russia. Addressing the historical moment during the ceremony, the Russian president stressed that the people of the four territories had made their unequivocal choice. He added that the people living in Lugansk and Donetsk, in Kherson and Zaporozhye have become our citizens forever, noting that Moscow will use every means to protect them. The US and the European Union have refused to recognize referendums despite their results and promised more military support to Kiev. The DPR and LPR declared their independence in 2014 after a violent Western-backed coup d'etat in Kiev. Since then, the Ukrainian government has been waging a war against the people of blah blah blah. So this obviously is a Russian version. So from here, it's going to probably go to Putin again, and I don't know when it's going to be the formal admission, or at least the ceremony of formal admitting these territories in the Russian Federation. But that's these are all formalities. I mean, we already know that Russia will do that, and it's not about, oh my God, are they going to vote for to have these territories admitted? Obviously, they will. It's already done in their mind. You just have to, follow their requirements per their law, and then the question is what's going to happen after that. Because if those territories, obviously not if, when those territories will become Russian territory, then you have a foreign army, foreign country, hitting you, attacking you, or they already have armies on your so-called territory. So what are you going to do about it? I have another article here ready to go where Shoigu, the defense minister of the Russian Federation, said that they have already have 200,000 conscripts. So they mobilized, if you remember, up to 300,000, and Shoigu stated that, well, we already have 200,000. Well, are you going to use those to push the Ukrainians back? What they're going to do with that? They're going to have a lot of losses. I don't know if they're going to up it to the next level, which is nuclear weapons, as they stated, that everything is, they will use anything to defend their country. They might use probably this new conscript, go see how things are going, and if they can't push the Ukrainians back, probably they will gonna issue them an ultimatum. But that would mean more losses for the Russian people, and you know, you can keep a population down as much as you can, but then you don't have full control all the time. So then if that's not successful and you have people dying, obviously more than they are, because what he had right now, he had, you know, active military personnel fighting, and now he recruited from the civilian population, so people that did not expect that to happen. So all of a sudden you go and fight. It depends how convinced you are that you fight on the right side of the story here, to go and risk your life in this war. So obviously, if you're, when is not if, when a lot of people will die in this war, and they are civilians that were, you know, mobilized, that's not going to look good at all with the civilian population. So then you could have obviously those beautiful people activated and start creating social unrest, popular unrest. And you know what happens when it's popular unrest? More and more, and they hope to start how it's called, a snowball, you know, grows and grows, and they hope to get rid of Putin this way. And that would be probably, not probably, I see it as the only way how this war, let's put it nicely, is won by the Western countries. This is the only way they have a chance of winning, if Putin and his I don't know, friends, government are just eliminated. Not only Putin, because if you get Putin, it's going to grow another head, which could be Medvedev, would be Pushilin or whatever his name is, Putin's KGB friend from St. Petersburg time. So I think it's Pushilin, if I remember correctly. But he's in charge of the security forces of Russian Federation. So he's like kind of CIA or FBI chief, ex-KGB. So the other people, I don't think they would say, okay, now Putin is dead, we are lost like children in the woods. You don't know what you get. Maybe you're going to get a guy that's going to be short-fused, and immediately to say, you got 2 hours, in 2 hours we start this. We don't give a... So what they're going to do then? So changing Putin is not enough. They will have to change the whole structure over there and get their people over there. And I don't know how easy that is, because you don't have... Usually you have to have below the next echelon ready to take over. And I think Putin eliminated that next step. I think the next 5 steps are not the Western echelon. 5 next steps are still Putin's echelon. So if the first echelon goes, the next one moves up and moves up. And if you eliminate that, the next one moves up. And eliminate that, the next one moves up. Why? Because he is not an idiot. And you know how these things work. So he's not allowing echelons behind. You know, he has to have loyalty back, down, deep, not the next one right here, like you see here. And here loyalty is just... you're my boss now, but if I can take your job, I will take it right now. Not that over there are some different, but they run a little bit of a different culture there. It's much tougher, let's put it this way, and the consequences are, how should I put them, final, if you know what I mean. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.